Hi all. So this is a new project video which I'm starting very from the scratch. I will be using Angular 22 because that is the latest one. Now, what is the project about? It's a simple banking application. So many every website will have this module where customer can visit the website and they can fill out the application form. Let's say one customer needs a loan, either it is vehicle loan, personal loan, whatever, right? So they can put the application over there. Then that application goes to the particular bank employee, then bank employee check all the content whatever you have filled, and then they call you, and then the remaining process happens, right? So this is the initial step, the first step from the loan application module, right? So we will complete a very first module. So it will have two roles, customer and the banker. So customer will be able to create the application, banker will be able to see the application. Customer will be able to see only applications created by him. Banker, we will have multiple bankers. So all the customer will raise the application. Each application will go to a different banker. So every banker will be able to see applications assigned to him only. He cannot see application raised by any other customer. Whatever the customer has assigned to him, those only he will be able to see. Okay, we will be using Bootstrap. So that command and everything I have specified over here, ng new project name, ng serve to run the project. Once you create the project, then npm install Bootstrap. Now, how many modules are there? So customer registration, bank employee user creation, login for customer and the bank employee, create loan application. It will be a first form. Then in employee login, you will be able to see all the application to assign to him, and you can change the status like application rejected, approved, waiting for document, whatever, right? And in customer login, you can only see the applications you have created by him. Let's say one loan application you have created for applying for a vehicle loan, another application you have applied for a home loan. So two application, you can see those application created by you only. You cannot see any other customer applications, right? APIs. So this is a real-time API project, right? So these are the live APIs, project API.jirasim.in. If you visit over here, here you can see a small project. So you can see only few APIs are there that we are going to use. Okay. Before moving ahead, if you're new to my channel, do subscribe. In video description, we'll be finding a link of my WhatsApp group. You can join that to connect with me for taking mock interview, for any career related advice. You are giving interviews and you are not getting calls, so you can connect with me, the ATS and what changes we have to do, that I can guide you. Fine. Let's start now. So first we have to create a project. So what I will do, let's go to a particular folder, YouTube projects. Here I will open a new command prompt and I will create a new project. So how do you create a new project? ng new and the project name. Let's say bank loan. This is my simple project name. Enter. Then it will ask you two questions. It will take some time in my system. I don't know what is wrong. These are the two questions. Which style statement you need? So CSS. Sorry, that pause was there. Then second question, it is asking you key SSR. Do you need SSR? No, it's a simple application. So we will say no. Enter. Then it will ask you third question, that is for, this is from Angular 22. Ki while working on the project, do you want to use any of the AI model agent which will guide you ki what good documentation of Angular is there? So for that, so I'm saying none, and it is installing the dependencies. I'm stopping it because I reuse my node module folder. So let me just quickly do that. You don't have to stop it. You have to continue. So I have a node module created in another folder. So I will just create a shortcut of it in my bank loan application. So this is how I create it. Now, if I show you, so you can see node module has been linked properly. This node module, I have already kept it somewhere. Okay. Now, just a moment. Now, project is created. So in my common node module, npm install is already done for the Bootstrap. So you have to do it. Once you create the project, then run this command in your project and then run the project. Okay. Now let me open the project in my VS Code. Open folder, the YouTube project and bank loan. This is the folder of my project. So let's open it. I got the project. Let me show you package.json. See, Angular 22 is there. Now, in my system, I'm using the Bootstrap. Okay. So if you go over here, let me check. bootstrap. Then we need dist CSS and the bootstrap non-main.css. So this file path we need copy path. So once you install the bootstrap, after that, you need to add it into your angular.json. Any third-party library you use, bootstrap, PrimeNG, material, whatever you use, you need to install if that library has CSS. So you add it over here like this in style section. If it has JSS, so that also you add it over there. Dot slash, let me remove the forward slash to backslash. And comma. So once you install the bootstrap, this is the next thing you have to do. Let's just run the project and let's check if this path is correct. We should be able to use the bootstrap command. Sorry, classes. NGS. Or you can write the full form also. NG serve. This is how we run the Angular project. I know this is a project video, but consider if you are new, I will try to explain whatever I can while completing the project. Okay, so now your project is getting compiled and it will run on by default 4200 port. Now you can see here we are getting error. So let me add dot slash. It is not able to find the bootstrap. Let's run it again. If our path is correct, yeah, now it is successfully running. Let's open localhost 4200. You will get a basic default Angular component code, HTML code, whatever the project has. Why it is taking time? Yeah, I got it. So this is coming from your app component. By default, you get an app component. So I'm not repeating what is component at all, considering you know the basic of Angular. So basic code you got. Let's get rid of it. Now, this application is kind of a website. It's not a admin kind of application because without login also you should show something. Yeah, banking application, some proper navbar will be there, some banner will be there, and customer will click on the add application or fill loan application. Then you have to open a form. So it's a website kind of application. Fine. So you will need component now. How many components you will need? So let's create it over here, a pages folder. Now in pages folder, what you need to do, you need to open a terminal. Here you are going to create all the components. Ng generate component. Either you can write a full form or a short form also. Anything is fine. First component I'm creating is application form. This is where we are going to have that bank loan application form. First component. Then second component, application list. Now, once customer fill the application, we have to show the application list to customer as well as banker also. So we are not going to create two different components to show the application list to different role. We will use the same component, but based on the role, we will show and hide some things. Because if you create two different component, code repetition will be there. Role-based application, we have to hide and show according to the role. Application list, two component we have. Then we will need one component to keep your navbar, the top navbar. We don't have that much, but we will create one component. Ng generate component navbar. So in this component, we will just keep our navbar. Okay. As I said, this is going to be your a website kind of application. So you need a landing page, right? So store then, whenever you visit any website, you have a landing page, something information, right? So you need a home component for that. That's it. These are the components what we are going to need. One more component, login component. So because we have a login page, login component. Once you create the user, now you provide the password and all that. With that, you will be able to log in. So these are the components you have created. Now, once the component are created, you need to create the route. So go to approute.ts. First route. It will be your default route. Every component will have a default route. Path will be empty. Let's give it some time. It is still, see here you can see initializing ts config. So that's why IntelliSense is not coming. We have to let it complete. Yeah, now redirect to home. Home will be your landing page. Path my strategy, full. This is your default route, comma. Then actual home component. So if route is empty, where you want to redirect, it will redirect to home. Now here, component, home component you want to render. Okay. Then path, your login. We will consider key, or just to keep things simple. Yeah, let it be. We'll keep it things very similar. There are multiple ways to do that, but again, based on, because some fresher might be watching this video, people with already experience might be watching this video. So I will try to make it a balance. Path, login page, then we have new application. These are the routes we are creating, right? Application and component will be application form. Then we need one more to show the list of application. Path, application hyphen list, component, application list. Got it? So these are the components we created, and we create the route for all those things. Now for UI generation, I will be taking help of the, what do we call it? AI agent, because I don't want to waste time creating the UI. So I have GitHub Copilot. You can also use the GitHub Copilot, the free version again. Okay. So let me show you how many tokens I have. So 16% I have used in this month. Now, what you need to do, we need the UI. So why I'm taking the help of, if you are following me previously, I used to keep my HTML ready, then I used to copy paste it. But now you also should learn how to use AI agent. Either you talk about ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, Codex, or Claude. You should be able to use it, because in interview people are asking that right now. No one wants to. No one is asking you to write a very basic code by yourself. Use AI agent to do that. Everyone is asking you. Every client will be providing you the access of AI agent. So get familiar with it. The code we are going to write, but UI generation we don't want to waste the time. Otherwise, this project will take almost 3 hours just to complete. It's a very small application, right? So previously also UI generation, I used to keep it ready before the video. Now I'm creating it in front of you. So you can also learn it, how to write the prompt, what things you need to put it in the prompt, so you get the exact result. Fine. Now see the structure. We have created one component for navbar. Here we will just have our navbar. Home component. This will be our landing page, where some information like bank banner, some information, how do you fill a loan application, and like that, right? So now we need the UI. So this is the chart. Here you can add your navbar component and your home component. These are the two references we are going to need. See, open editor. We don't need app. We don't need route also. So in the context, you are adding two files, navbar and the home component. Now you have to specify the prompt. Before specifying the prompt, directly don't ask it ki, create the navbar and landing page. Specify the context, ki, what you are working on. So instead of writing over here, let's try the dictate mode. Working on a banking loan application. It's a small application which I'm creating to learn Angular bank loan application. So in that you can see I have a home component and a navbar component. In home component, you can keep us landing page. We need a landing page where we will have some banner about one of the bank, and then some information about this application. And somewhere we will have a button to add loan application or create request loan application. Then on the navbar, as it's a website, so whatever the navbar you have, that you can keep it into navbar component, and the landing page we have to keep it into home component. We are using Bootstrap already, so use Bootstrap to create the UI. And don't write any Angular code, just design the HTML UI. Let's see if it is able to understand it. This is the first time I'm trying the dictate mode over here. Let's see what it understood. No, didn't understood, I think. Speak and test, adjust the setting. How do we stop it? It didn't work. Let's go to ChatGPT. I like that speech to text of ChatGPT only. Okay, again, I have to repeat the same thing. Instead of writing this, I'm working on a bank loan application. It's a simple project which I'm working just to ensure my Angular knowledge. So it's a POC kind of application. So it's a website kind of application. I have two components, navbar and the home component. So in on home component, we need a landing page for this bank. So consider like we have a bank and there we show some information like this is loan application. How do you fill the application? Something information should be there in your home component. Then again it's a website, so we need navbar. So navbar we can keep it into our navbar component. Just design HTML. Don't write any Angular code, and Bootstrap is already installed. So use Bootstrap 5. Stop. Now I can copy and paste this. Basically, why I have done it, instead of writing the whole chat, copy. So you will save the time. Be a smart in this AI era, right? If you are wasting time in just typing also, that is again a question mark. Let's go ahead. I'm selecting an agent mode. We have ask, plan, agent mode. So I'm going with the agent mode. Okay. Now it will create the UI. If it needed particular CSS, so it will create in the respective component. Okay. Now it is reading all the file. See, it has found that Bootstrap is already wired, right? Now it will do the remaining thing. Now, till it complete everything, we will create at least services. Basic code we will write. Service. We are going to make API call. So API call, we will move it to the services only. So first service, only one service I will create, which the name I will give it as a master. We don't have so many APIs. So in one service only, you can write all your API call functions. So ng generate service, master service, enter. Right? Master service is there. It is asking us to check it is asking us the permission to run the build, but we don't want build because it's just HTML code. So I don't want to waste my token. Even if it runs also, it will use token. So don't use that. Skip it. If you need it, that if you think it has written some Angular code and you want to run the build to check for any compilation error, then you can ask it to yes. Now, whatever the code it has done, you just have to accept it. See, some CSS it has created. Navbar, some CSS. Let's save all. Let's check it. How does our application is looking? So here you can see your application is coming fine. Okay. So this will be your kind of a landing page for your bank application. If you click on it, it will navigate to your form. But where is the navbar? I don't see navbar. Let's see where navbar component is getting used. This is the selector of it. It has created navbar, but didn't use it. I don't see navbar used anywhere. Let's try to render this navbar into home component at the top. So after this, save home component. Now in home component, you are using navbar component. So you need to import that also. Then only you can use it. So navbar component, you have to import it over here. Save. Then you can see that error is gone away. Now you got the navbar. Okay, so it forgot to add the navbar. So see, even if might be possible key, this is a very this is the free model, right? Let me check what model was there. Auto, but I don't know which model. So free model, right? So free model has very limited what do we say, maturity, right? So but again, we can get the work done. We have to use our common sense also. Now you got the UI ready. This is our navbar. You have a sign in also. On click of sign in, you have to navigate. So let's do the routing now. Let's close it now. So where we have login. So let's go to navbar. Here we have homepage. We don't need href, right? So we have to use router link. Now we are going to use router link. So we need to import that also. Router link from standalone component, this thing started. Whatever you use, you have to import it. Navbar. So instead of router href, you have to use router link. So here, home component. Let me copy paste quickly. How it works, we don't have any page for that. Loan option also, we don't have any page. Support also, we don't have any page. And sign in. So here, login will be there. And this start application, we have to navigate to the form. So what is the route of over that? New application. This is the route. We'll go over here, save it, and let's check it if we are able to navigate properly. So if I click on sign on, see, now we have a problem. Now here, if you can see, when I navigate to the login, again, I didn't get the navbar. So navbar should be common to all the pages. So instead of keeping this navbar into your home component, let's move it to our parent component, that is app component over here. So navbar will be common everywhere. Let's import our navbar component over here also. Okay. We don't need navbar component over here. Save all. Now see, we got the navbar over here. Even if I go to the home component, navbar is there. So navbar, I moved it to a app component because this content is home component. This thing will keep on changing, but this should be common. So that's why in the parent component, app component. Now, if I click on start application, see application form, I'm able to navigate. Now, what next we can do? So directly we can start with the customer. Oh, we forgot customer registration. So we need a form where customer will register, right? Now we need the form also. So this is the object. This is the payload, what we need to pass to the register. Now we have two form, register customer and register banker. Now register banker should not be in the open, but just to complete it, I will complete it. Okay, it should be like super admin will be creating the bank user login. But for now, we will keep it in the website because we just have to complete the API integration, right? Or let's not do that because otherwise you will get confused. Okay, how from the website I'm able to register as a banker? This should be happening from the backend only, right? So in the website, we need a form where customer will be able to register. So let's open Copilot again. We need one more, or here what I will do, I will create one more component to register customer. I forgot that. ng generate component, register customer. So this is the component which will have the form where customer will be able to register himself. Then only he can apply for a loan because we need the customer data. Only logged in user should be able to put down the application form. We need to create the route for the same. Let me create quickly. Register customer. Here, register customer. Fine. Now we will say, let's open the register customer so that it will get the context. In register customer component, we need a small form where customer will register themselves. Again, keep the theme as same because whatever the theme it has selected, blue kind of theme. So we are just asking to keep the blue theme same. And this is payload. What these are the fields we need in form. Don't add user ID, otherwise it will create a text box for user ID also. Don't write Angular code, otherwise it might write the basic function and everything. Okay, now, so first we have to complete the register customer process. Now we have created a service. Now in service, we have to create a function. How do you make an API call? You need HTTP object. So HTTP is equal to inject HTTP client. You created an you injected your HTTP client service. Now on register customer, a simple function. When you call this function from your component, you are going to pass object. So that object you need to catch it over here. So I will start to go with very basic. So for now, I'm not explaining class or interface. We will go with any. So that from this function, you will call it from your component. So you need to catch the data. That object, you will pass it of form data. Form value, you will pass it from the component. You need to catch that. So object colon any. I'm going with any, but we should not use any. In next API call, we will create class or interface. Return. this dot HTTP dot post API call. Post API call need URL and the body. Let's get the URLs from the Swagger. So go it over here. You can just click on try it out, execute. You will get the URL. So this is my URL for the post API to create a new customer. And post API needs to object also, URL and the object. So whatever the object you get, that you will pass it over here. Okay. Now let's accept the changes for the customer form, CSS. Let's save it. Let's first check it. And in our navbar also, we might need a link to add customer. So instead of how it works, we will say add register. So here I will say we created a route. So that route will go over there. So in navbar, I'm adding one more link. Here we will say register. Fine. Save all. Now, if I click on register, see, you got your registration form following the same, whatever the look and theme, what it has created, around the same it has created. Now, why there is so much of gap? Let's quickly check. In CSS, minimum height, padding 4 pm. So let's make it 1 rem, save. Yeah, now, but still so much of gap in between fields because I have user has to scroll. User should not, because within the viewport, whole of your form should be visible. Unless your form is very big, then only your scroll bar should come. Let's check somewhere extra space, padding or bottom, something might be there. Alt 12. From where it has added that margin bottom in label form. Alt 12, above Alt 12, where? From where this space is coming? G4. Let me try to remove G4. Gap might be there. Yeah, because of G4. Let's remove G4. Save it. Still gap is there. So we have some spacing at the top. Let's get rid of it. So here. So even though you are creating application just for a practice, but make sure margin bottom and margin top. Where is top? Register panel. Try to create the UI also very proper, right? Register panel, line number 7. Let's remove this. It is breaking now. 1.5 rem. Let's make it 0.5. 3 rem to 1 rem. Save. Yeah. Okay. At least create button I'm able to see. Here HR is there. Welcome to Northeastern. Okay, let it be. I don't want to waste the time with this. Let me just find quickly HR. H1 is there. From where we are getting this? This is taking so much of space. Register info. Okay, so if I line number 15, let's quickly do that. Margin bottom 0.5, padding bottom 0.75. Save. Okay, now without scrolling, everything is coming. Okay, now, so this is the API for registering. This is the payload you are to need to, it's a post API, you need to pass this payload. User ID is your primary key, username, email ID, full name, and the password. In the login, you need username. Okay, username and the password. So whatever the detail you pass while registering, with that, you will be able to log in. Now, so we have created a service. Now in that service, we created a function also, right? Now in your register component, first I will use template form over here. So how do you use a template form? To use template form, first you need to import forms module. Then you need to create an object. New user object colon any. I'm going with any for now. I will explain how do we create class and interface. So these are the field you need to pass. Copy it. Copy exactly same. Okay. If you try to write it down, you might make spelling mistake and API won't execute properly. String with empty. So you have created your object. Now you imported your forms model. Now this object you need to bind to your form. Okay. So over here, square bracket, round bracket, ng model equal to your new user object model dot full name. Okay. Let's copy and paste it over here, here, and over here. Let's bind the field name respective email ID and username. Fine. So we created object and that object I binded with every input element with my ng model directive. Fine. Now on click of save, submit, we have to make an API call. So instead of submit, I'm going with button. So click on save customer. Let's create this function. Fine. Now we already have created a service and there we have already written the API call function. So that service now we need to inject. So over here, master service is equal to inject master service. You will inject over here. Then here you need to make your API call. So this dot master service dot currently we just have one function that expect the data. So this object you will pass it over there. Form data you will get it over here. Dot subscribe round bracket curly bracket next your success call result colon any. Again I'm going with any. Let me complete this. From next component I will creating class and interface. Now let's check the response. What API is giving us response? So API is giving us this kind of a response. Every API will give you this object. Result is the property which will tell you if API call was success or not. If there is any error, you will get it in the message. If there is any data, that data you will get it over here. So here you need to add a check like that. If result is true, if that property is true from API, you will say alert customer registration success. Use login page to login now. Okay, simple message I'm showing you. Then once customer is successfully login, we have to navigate him to the login page, right? So for navigation, now from we are navigating from .ts. For in Angular, we have routing. To navigate, we have to use router service. So router is equal to inject router. This is an intro question. They will ask you ki how you navigate from one component to another. There are two ways. If you want to do it from the HTML router link, from .ts, you have to inject your router service, then navigate by URL and navigate method. Two methods are there. These are the three ways how you can navigate from one page to another page. This is very famous intro question. Now here, this dot router dot, I told you, right? See, two ways are there. Navigate by URL or by navigate by navigate method. So here slash login. So if result is success, means API call is success, it's okay. Then else, if result property is false, so you will get error in your message property. So alert res dot message. Okay, something message you want to show. Let's add a debugger everywhere. Adding a debugger is very important. You get to understand. And this is your success callback. Just like that, you can have an error callback also. Error colon any. If there is any error while making the API call. So this is your success. This is your error callback. Okay. This is the new syntax. If you are following the old one, try to follow the new one now. Alert. And here you will say API error. Fine. Everything is in right place. Let's give it a test now. So first API call integration we are doing. Click on the register. Let me show you existing how many records are there. APIs are from so many days, so so much of data will be there. Okay, so see, so many data is there. I don't know. Do we have a limit of max user? Let's try. Because for some API, I have put the limit. Only maximum this many record can get created like that. Let's say I'm creating my name, Chetan Jogi Chetan 112233. This is going to be my username. Email address chetan@test.com. APIs are open. Everyone can see the data you insert. So don't put your original email ID and the mobile number in any API, whatever you are using. Password 112233. Okay. Now let's debug our code. Sources, on click of create account, our function got called. Use your mouse to check. See, in the user object, whatever the data you filled into the form, you are able to see that. User ID is your primary key, so we are passing it 0. Now from your component, you are calling a function from your service. Now here, it will go over here. Let's add a debugger over here also. So once I continue, see, your service function got executed and we pass the data. That data got it over here. From here, you are actually making the API call. Continue. If API call is success, see, next block got executed means API call is success. Here you can see result data. In result, you got the whole object. In result, property is true. Means your data got inserted successfully. You are showing the alert and then you are navigating to the login page. You showed the pop-up. See, login page redirected. So our API call is success, right? So if you are appearing for the interviews now, make sure you don't write the API call into your component. Create a service. Again, in the service also, for now I have kept the URL over here, but this URL should go into your environment folder. This method should go into your constant folder, right? So, after completing Angular 22, I have created a project setup video. There I have explained everything. So try to follow that also, right? Because you want to, everyone is going to complete the whatever the task they give, but how you are completing it, that will be the key factor to decide your candidate selection, right? So try to show your coding skill, okay? And you should be comfortable with writing API. I have seen so many people, they have to copy paste this piece of code. Write it down. Keep a habit of writing it. In interview, they won't allow you to use AI tool. Yeah, some companies have starting it. Yeah, use AI tool, but their task will be also like that. Okay. Now, so customer is able to register. Now we have to implement the login. Let's close this. Work is done. Now login page. Now again, we need the UI. So let's go to over here, create a login page, UI design, keep just design page, no Angular code. Okay. Now till that it right. Now login. Let's check the login API. So here you can see login API needs, we need to pass this payload. Now instead of creating with any, now we will create our model. So I'm creating model folder over here. Models is nothing but class or interface we have to create. So in model folder, user.model.ts. Simple TypeScript file we are creating. Inside that we have to create export class user login model. These are the properties we have. Colon data type will be string. Here also same. So what that API is going to expect? Let's accept this. What that API is going to expect, you have to create a class of it. Again, it's a class, so we have to initialize all the field. So this dot username is equal to empty. This dot password is equal to empty. So you created a class and you initialize all the field inside that class. Now, so in your service, because we have created service, so in service, you have to create a function on login. Now here, when you call this from your login component, you are going to pass the data. So login object, now you have created in class for it. So login user model. Sorry, user login model. So instead of any, you have to provide a proper data type. This is the first rule of TypeScript. You never use any. Yeah, we have some scenarios there we have to use any. There is no other way. But Hardly 10% scenario is there where we have to use any. Otherwise, every time, whatever the data you are going to get or you are going to pass, create properly interface or the class like this. Now, return this dot HTTP dot post API call. Now here you can see the URL is, this URL is going to be common. So this I will keep it into a variable. So API URL colon string common URL. I'm putting it over here. Then over here, you will just use this dot API URL plus like this. Okay. Here also. Now here we have used concatenation. Here I will use template bind, your template literal. So dollar curly bracket, this dot API URL. Then the method name. What is the method name? Login. Then whatever the object you get, that you will pass it. You know, in JavaScript, whenever you appear for the Angular interview, we have JavaScript question inside that ES6 feature. So this is one of the ES6 feature, template literal. So while working on the Angular, we can actually use all the ES6, spread operator, rest operator, destructuring. You can use all those. Start using it so you don't have to worry about your JavaScript concept when you start for the interview preparation. You will be that much comfortable answering it as much as you are with Angular. Okay, login. Now in your login component, here login object. Now you will provide the data type colon user login model is equal to, it's a class. So we can use new operator to initialize it. So your variable will have properly initialization created. So in over there, we created object there, but here it's a simple thing because we have created class for it. Again, forms module, template model. So forms module here, username. So square bracket, round bracket, ng model, login object. Once you add dot, see it is providing you IntelliSense. This was not happening in case of any. So that is also one of the advantage. You don't make the spelling mistake because you have strongly typed in this field, in this variable, what type of data you have. This. Okay. So you get properly IntelliSense. Dot username. Let's change the name also. Copy, paste it over here. Password. Okay. So you created object, that object you have binded to the login form. Then on click of sign in. Let's use the other way. You know, in case of button type submit, your form gets submitted. So here you have another event on submit. Sorry, submit only on login user. So either you write click event over there. In case of click, you have to go with input type button. But if your button type is submit, then your form get post. So this function will get triggered submit. So you should know all the ways around. How many ways are possible? You don't know what someone will ask at the interview. Now, here again, you need to inject your service. So master service is equal to inject your master service. Okay. Now this dot master service. Now we have two functions. This function we need to call and it expect login data. So this dot login object dot subscribe round bracket curly bracket next round bracket result. Now what data you get from the API? This is the model you get. So now everywhere, instead of keeping on any, you can create an interface for it. So here in model, I'm creating API s dot model dot ts. Another, I'm creating interface now. Export interface API. It's an interface. So we normally start with a model. Okay. Here you put all the properties. So because this is a common response, right? These are the field you are going to get from API. Boolean. You should not use any. That's why we have to create classes and interfaces like this. Okay. Interface doesn't have constructor, so you don't need to initialize it. So wherever you need initialization, there you go for a class. Where you don't worry about the initialization, a simple type you need. So go for an interface or a type. Now, here you have to give a response, API response model. If now here you can see we are getting an error because this function is not returning. See, what is this function is returning? Observable of type object. And here we are saying, yeah, this is the kind of response. So now in service also, you need to provide a proper data return type. It's going to return observable type of data, but what? API response. Now you will see here also you need to specify API response. This is the production level API function call. You should have it. Now you can see error is not there. Now if result dot result, see you get properly into the sense. Sorry, this should be in a small case, not the capital case. RD. If result is result, you will say, yeah, user found, logging in. And in else, if you that result property is false, means user doesn't found. So whatever the error you get from the API, that you can simply show alert, sorry, res dot message. Okay. I'm not adding a debugger right now. Let's directly test it because we have already seen that now. File save all is already there. So just now we created a login. Now we will try to log in with that. Let's check the gate API if we are able to see the user created just now. Execute bottom. So here you can see data is there. See the role customer because the API which we use was customer. We didn't pass this whole data, but it comes from the API. Okay. So this is the username. Let's put it over here. Then password was 112233. We should not show the password, but again, everyone doesn't understand. So I have to return it. In normal application, in actual application, you won't be getting password in your gate API. Okay. Now, network on click of sign in, user found logging in. So this is the data you pass. And in response, you can see we got the whole user data. Now, once user is successfully logged in, we have to store the logged in user data also. So whatever the data you get, that you will store it to see. Now, this is another intro question. They will ask you where you will store the logged in user data token. So there are multiple ways: local storage, session storage, cookies, or service variable. These are the four ways we have. If your API supports, HTTP only cookie, that is also another way. According to the use case, according to the scenario, we use it. If your application is so much secure, we store the data into, we don't store token into somewhere, but we have to store the logged in user data. Sometimes we need user ID role. So you can store the data into the cookie, session storage, local storage. But if someone's saying we can see that, yeah, we encrypt it. Wherever we need it, we will decrypt it. But somewhere we need to store it. Okay. Someone will say, can we store it in the service? Yeah, we can store it in the service variable or subject or behavior subject also. We can do that. Set item. For now, I'm going with very basic way because freshers will also see this video. If you know how to store in another ways, use that. Okay. Bank loan user. Now, local storage can only store string type of data. So we need to convert it. JSON.stringify res dot data. Okay. This is how you store it. Again, after the login, you have to navigate to the back to the home page. Then, or let's say user is logged in, then we will move it to the my application. Once user logged in, we have to show the different menu. Currently in the navbar, you are not able to see that my application. That menu will come if user is logged in only. Okay. And here we forgot to show that log off and button, right? If user is logged in, we should see the logged in user and a log off button. Now I'm also not good with UI. So let's ask it in navbar component. We need a place to show logged in username and a log off button. Okay, let it do. This is a website kind of application. So you are logging from login component. Once you log in, you are storing some data into your local storage. Now, as soon as you log in, you are navigating him back to the, let's say, home page, anywhere you will navigate. Okay. So your navbar should change it. Okay. So in navbar component, let's accept the changes. Now in navbar component, so here you can see signed in. Let me show you. So here you have to show the logged in username. So you need to read the local storage data and whatever the username is that you need to show. So here we have to use the subject over here. I will show you. First, we will show the problem, then I will show you the use case of subject. So logged user data. Now, what kind of a data you get from the login API? So that object you need to create. So this is the whole object you get. So I need to create a interface for this. So I can use JSON to TS site, which will help me to create a TypeScript type. You just need to put the JSON over here. You get the type interface copy that I will put it over here. Interface user model. Okay. Instead of creating manually, I use that. Now here, what data will be there? User model. By default, we are not going to initialize it. So let's add a null over here. Now in page load, in constructor, on the page load, you need to read the logged in data, right? So constant logged data, or let's say local data, local storage dot get item. To read the logged in, to read the local storage data, get item is there. With what key? This is the key where you have stored the data. Let's read it. And while storing it, you have converted it into string data. You need to convert it back. So this, but whenever you read the local storage data, always add a null check if data is there or not. Otherwise, code will break. Not equal to null. If not equal to null, this dot logged user data is equal to JSON dot parse to convert again back to the object. Parse method is there, and this variable you will pass it over here. But what will happen? Let me show you. And whatever the data you get, that you will show it over here in interpolation. It will break. I will show you why it will break. Here, let's say I want to show the username. Okay. And on click of log off, you need to remove the local storage data. Again, you have to navigate back to the home page. So click on log off. So you can see just to complete the log off, so many things we have to do. While working, you get definitely that much particular time also. Again, just to revise, repeat one more time. If you are new to my channel, do subscribe. In video description, we will be finding a link on my WhatsApp group. You can join that to connect with me for your mock interview, for checking your CVATS if you are looking for a job, but you're not getting interview calls. So you can connect with me. I can help you in that. Okay. So just expand the video description. You'll be finding a link of my WhatsApp group. Now here, what you need to do first, you need to remove the logged in data. So remove item. And what was the key? This was the key. Then you need to navigate back to the home page. So a router service, inject router. In this application, once we complete everything now, we will try to ask AI what optimization we can do. We will see that once we complete everything. So this dot router dot navigate by URL. So last time I have explained navigate. Now navigate. Navigate expect array. First parameter will be route. Second parameter will be your query parameter. Home component. Okay. Now let's log in again. Application. Let me remove the existing data. So you can see in local storage, I don't have any data right now. Let's try to log in now. And the password 112233. Let's pass the wrong password. I can show you the voice. We are getting some error. So we are getting an error on navbar component 27 line number. What is the error? Cannot read properties are undefined. So here you can see navbar component. This is by default undefined. We didn't initialize it. So by default, it is undefined. So you can add question mark over here, null check. Reload. Now you won't get that error. Got it? Okay. So let's pass anything. I just want to show you alert. See username and wrong and password. If you pass anything from the API, it is validating. Let's pass the correct credential now. On click of sign in, user found, it will navigate him. Wait, why navigation didn't happen? We didn't navigate, I think. Login. Okay, we didn't navigate. Okay, anyway. Now, here you see in the application, data is there, but here you are not able to see the logged in user data. But if I refresh, then you are able to see. How? Because when you log in, your component, because the reading part, you have kept it into your on login page in the constructor. See now our component. On once the component load, this code will execute only one time because login is happening from another component and your reading part is in another component. So you have to inform navbar component ki yeah, login happens. So for that, now we will use subject so that whenever login happen, navbar component will again read it and so that we will be able to see the data. Okay. So here I will create a subject, login subject. I'm giving a name as a subject. Whenever you create a behavior subject or a subject, add dollar in front of it or prefix, colon, subject. You are not going to pass any data. So, sorry. Void, you can keep it. Whenever you have to pass some data, so string, integer, array, object, you can pass it. Otherwise, void. You are not going to pass any data. Subject. So in master service, I have created a subject. Now, in login component, whenever login happen, so this dot master service dot, you need to emit the value to the subject dot next. You don't emit any value because we said well wide over there. And once user is logged in, we have to navigate him. So let's inject our router also. We will navigate him back to the home page. Router. This dot router dot navigate my URL home page. Okay. Now, and once you do the login, you are emitting something into your subject. Now, in your navbar component in constructor, you have to listen to that. So you need to again inject your service master. So this dot master service dot your subject dot subscribe round bracket curly bracket next. You are not passing any data, so no need to catch it. And whenever you do it, again you need to read the login. So this I will keep it in a different function. Read logged user data. On the page load also, I need to call this function. And then whenever you log in, there also you need to call this function. So what problem we had previously, that will get solved now. So let's add a debugger over here and in login also. This is the use case of your component communication. So while completing the project, don't just complete the project for the functionality. You have to use all the topics, whatever you can. Subject, behavior subject, custom directive, custom pipe, interceptor, helper function, right? Try to use everything, whatever you can. So you will understand the proper use case of all the topics. Log off. And on a log off, you need to clear this variable also. That was not happening. So on click of log off, you just need to assign this variable to null or undefined. Why it will give error? Okay, undefined is not assignable to type any. Let's try null. How you will make it null now? Because we have added or, so or data type I'm passing as null. Okay, now it will allow. Fine. Let's try it now. Now we will again. So here you can see by default it is coming as log off. I'm not logged in. If it is if user is not logged in, then only you have to show log off button. It means the vice versa. So here at the rate if this variable is there, if variable is not, if variable has a value, then only log off button should be there. Let's see it. Now log off button is not there. This also should be visible if user is logged in. So again, here, save. Okay. So if user is not logged in, we won't see those two blocks. Wait, where was sign in? We forgot to sign in. And in case of else, we need button or anchor tag for sign in. Router link, login. So if user is not logged in, we will only see the login URL, login anchor tag, otherwise log off. Fine. On click of login, we navigate it over here. Username, password. Now see it properly. Okay. Currently, previously, when we log in on refresh only, we were able to see that. But now we are emitting the data from subject and we are receiving over here. And again, we are reading the logged in data. On click of sign in, we got the data, user found, then we are storing it. Now I'm emitting a login subject over here. Once I continue, your subscribe will execute. See, from navbar component, subscribe got executed. Whenever you emit the value into the subject, this will execute. Now again, we are reading the logged in data. Now here you can see we got it. Previously, this was not coming. We had to reload, then it was coming. Now on click of log off, see. Okay. Let's do the login one more time. So this is everything what you need to do when it comes to login functionality. In actual application, again, you will have, forgot password, reset password functionality also. Fine. So our login functionality is completed. Now we have to work on the filling the application and then we have to show the application. Half the work is done, half the work is remaining. So our customer registration and the login functionality is completed. Again, the same login page bank employee also going to use. Now, next thing is customer logged in. Now he can apply for a loan. So he has to fill the application, right? So if I click over here, it is navigating over here. Now we need the UI for our application form. So let's check the API. Here you can see add new application. At the end, we have a post API. So this is the data what we need to pass. Here you can see application ID is your primary key. Then remaining detail, full name, something like that, city, address, pin code, employment status, credit score, asset, we have a car, home, something like that. If you have some previous loans. So, whenever you apply for a loan, you have to declare key existing how many loans you have. So this is one-to-many relationship example where we have single detail of the loan and here we have to specify what number of loans I have, what is the loan bank name, what is the loan amount and what is the EMI currently I'm having, and customer ID is your logged in ID. So this is the form for our loan application. Now let's copy it. We will ask GitHub Copilot to create a UI. Let's copy. Let's open our GitHub Copilot. And the component is application form. Let's put the object as I'm not sure why it is not storing the histories. So might be because of the paid plan or I did some settings. So history is not coming. So if it was a history coming properly, then we could have used the same chat, but history is not coming. So again, I need to explain the same thing. What is the project and all, right? So Let me just quickly write it into the chat. So instead of writing, I'm just dictating it so I can copy paste then. So this is the bank application, bank loan application we are working. Check the style.css, what color theme and everything we are using. Follow the same color theme. Now we have to create a UI design for filling up the application form for the loan. This is one-to-many relationship. So we have some single loan details basically. And if I have some existing loan, that also I need to clarify. So Bootstrap is already installed, so have normal form. And at the bottom, you will have table, and in the table you will add one by one loan. And at above the table, you will have three text box: bank name, loan detail, and the EMI. On click of add, it will add it to the table. So just create the UI like this. Don't write any Angular code or JavaScript code. Just provide the static UI and make page compact, because I don't want to scroll so much. Within viewport, try to adjust whatever we can. So this will be my prompt. Copy, and we will post it over here. Refer this payload. Fine. Let's go it over here. So till that it generate the UI, we will start our API call integration. Now, this is the object what we need to pass. So this is one-to-many relationship. So if you know reactive form, in reactive form, we have a form array. So by using that, we can quickly complete this. Instead of writing a one-to-many, you should be able to add one by one loan. So reactive form array will helpful in this scenario. Okay, so let's try to create class for this first. So JSON to TS. I just want the class. So let's create it. Put it over here. We got it, copy. We'll put it into our model. Again, you can create a new model also. For now, I'm keeping it everything in the same. So in interface, yeah, reactive form we are using. So we can go with interface. We don't need class. Still it is loading only. It will take some time because it's a new chat. So again, it has to go through the whole project structure, what UI theme and color combination we are using, then it will create it. Now, so in application component, we have to create the reactive form. So these are the single field what we have till over here. And this is the dynamic one. So first we will create the reactive form for this. Okay. So here application form form group. Let's add undefined. And then we will create a function initialize form. And here we have to initialize the form. So this dot application form is equal to new form group. Either you can use form builder or form group, one and the same thing. Then one by one control you need to specify. Key applicant ID. This is your primary key. So you will initialize with new form control and you will initialize with 0. Primary key we normally initialize with 0. Then second field full name. Data type is string. New form control full name we will initialize with empty. Like this, you will create your all the forms. So I will take the help of AI now. And here, sorry. We will remove this loan section. Create reactive form for this fields. So instead of writing that again and again, I'm just asking AI to do that. So this is the kind of code you can generate from the AI. It's a repeated thing, copy paste, copy paste. So you can use AI. So that will save your time. Stuck or what? Something is wrong with, just a minute, let it come back. Right, so we got the form. Let's copy and replace it. Right, so we got our application form created, but in our object, we have multiple loans, right? So here, what was the property name? loans colon new form array round bracket empty. So in loans, you are going to have nested a group array of forms, array of form group. So this is what we do because we have one-to-many relationship. Okay. Now let's write one by one. So the parent form we created. Now we need function add new loan. Now from this function, what we are going to do? We are going to simply return new form group. And what things are we have in loan detail? So loan ID, new form control, 0. Let me quickly copy paste. So the child form, the UI, which is going to be multiple. So that form we are creating now. Applicant ID, this will be your foreign key. You don't have to pass it, 0 only. Bank name, from which bank you have taken the loan, what was the loan amount, and what is the EMI going on. So this information needs bank people to understand ki, yeah, how much loan they can give us to us, right? Like that. So bank name we will initialize with empty. Loan amount also we will initialize with empty. This also let's initialize with empty. Fine. Now, once you initialize the form, in this loan, you have to push this form. So to do that, you have to create a get method. Get loan details. Return this dot application form dot get, and you have to return this particular control. But here you have to specify the data type as form array. We are specifying a data type to this. Now, once your form has been successfully initialized, then you need to add one form, one loan form by default. So this dot loan details dot push. And what you need to push? This function. So this will return a form and that we are pushing it to our loan section. This is basic. Now we need the HTML. HTML code is ready. Let's check it how the page is coming. So here you can see full name, PAN card number. Do we have PAN? Yeah, we have it. Okay. Remaining detail. And here you can see loan detail. So this is annual income. Yeah. So bank name, this and this. On click of add, your data should get added over here. Okay. Multiple loans, you will add it over here. So let's bind the details now. So in the application form, you have a form at form tag. So here you need to bind. Before doing it, we need to import reactive form module. Then on the HTML, square bracket form group equal to application form. Then on every element, you need to bind your form control. Normally form control name equal to, this is for full name. So full name will go over here. Like this, you need to do remaining. Okay. Let's ask it to do in form I in .ts I have created reactive form. Can you bind just application form control to all elements? Don't bind loan details, just parent fields. So instead of copy pasting, I'm asking it to do it. Okay. Then, so your loan section. So this is a dynamic one. On click of add, one by one, you can add it. Okay. Or instead of having like this, what we can do, UI is like this, right? So here, this button, I will move it over here. So one by one, multiple forms will be there. So we won't need table. Okay. Let's go like that. Keep it, keep it. Now what do I want to do? Where is our form? Let me check existing loans and 0 loans added. So there we will add our button. Okay. So this button, we will move it over here. Save it. Yeah. So on click of add, what we need to do, this whole form will be repeated that many times. So we don't need the table now. So let's get rid of table. So what will happen? By default, one form will be visible. On click of add, again, this whole UI will again created. The whole form will get created. So like this, you are adding multiple loans. Okay. Now, so first we created our reactive form, the basic thing. So this you have already binded it over here with the form control. See, all the form control we have bounded. Now, this section is going to be your form array. So in your whole form, you have this loan. So this you have to bind it over here on this section. So form, why it's not coming? Form array name is equal to your control name where you have the form array loans. Okay. Then on click of add, so on click of this button, you need to call your function. Click add new loan form. Now in this function, what you need to do? Simply this line will go over here. And this function, I will call it on the page load. So by default, one loan form will be added. So here what we are doing, we are creating a new form and that we are pushing it to the loan detail. Okay. Now, so this has to be iterated. How many loans we have, that many time your form has to be iterated. So here we will use ng for. Let's use ng for or control flow statement form loop also you can use. Let me use this. Now here star ng for equal to let controls of let loan of. Now what you need, the get method. You have already created the get method. So loan detail dot controls. We have multiple controls in that. Okay. Now inside that every form, this is a dynamic, right? So here we need to so this is the form which is going to be repeated. So we should be able to uniquely identify each form. So I will use ng container. Again, div also can be used, but I don't want to disturb the structure because we have row and call. So here, form group. Why it's not coming? From group name, square bracket. And here you will provide the dollar index. So here, let SR number is equal to index. So this serial number, you will pass it over here. So we can uniquely identify every form. And here on every input element, you will bind your form controller name. Here what you will bind? The nested one, the loan control. So bank name. Let me copy, paste. Loan amount and the EMI. This field you don't need to bind because those are primary keys and foreign keys. Fine. Let's give it a check. So by default, one loan detail is there on click of add. See, getting it? Multiple. As you click on it, multiple details are coming and you can now fill it. Okay. So we have our application ready. Now, let's bind the API call. So in our service, master, save, loan, application. We have created our object. So that is, what is the object? Oh, sorry, we didn't create it. Loan, application. Okay. And this is the data you are going to get, which you need to pass along with the API. So object colon this, let's add the import, return this dot http dot post what type of data you are going to return. Every API is going to return this. So this will be common. This will be also common. Here you need the URL. So let's copy this. Let's get the URL. So URL will be add application. Copy, paste, add application, and the object, whatever the object you get. So your API function is ready. Now in your form, on click of save, where is save button? Click on save application. We have to call our function. Now we need to inject our service. So master service is equal to inject master service. Now you need the whole form. The form details means application form detail and multiple loans. So to get that constant form value is equal to this dot application form dot value. This will get you the whole object, single with multiple. And then this dot master service dot save loan application, and you will pass the form loan detail over here. Dot subscribe round bracket curly bracket next. API response model. And if result property is true, we will show the alert that application submitted successfully. Something message, whatever. If something error is there, let's say one customer has already one loan application going on, so API won't allow you to do fill again. So that error, kind of error, you will get it over here. Okay. And once it is filled successfully, we have to navigate him back to the loan application. So, here application list, we have to navigate. So once your loan application has been successfully saved, we have to navigate. So we will need router service because we have to navigate. This dot router dot navigate by URL round bracket double quote like this. Let's add a debugger since we are testing for the first time with reactive form, and let's check it. Save. If everything is correct, we should be able to create the application. Let's fill the form first. Let's say my name Chetan Zogi, PAN card, QQQQW. You can add the proper validation also. Date of birth, chetan@gmail.com. Again, I'm saying ki APIs are open. Don't put real email ID and the phone number. Put the dummy one. Address, something like this. Loan detail, annual income is, let's say, 4 lakh. Employment status, full-time employed, credit score, I don't know, like 76 or something. Existing loan, let's say SBI Bank. I have home loan. 30,000 is the EMI. Then I have another loan from HDFC. Loan detail, let's say it's a personal loan. Oh, sorry. This is for amount. So amount, let's say 60 lakhs. And this is, let's say 5 lakh. Okay. And EMI is, let's say 22,000. Now let's try to debug it. If everything is correct, it should work properly. On click of continue application. Now here you can see we are trying to read the application form value. So here you can see we got all application data in, and in loans, you can see two sections are there, SBI and HDFC. Got it? So this is the benefit of your form array. You don't have to write something code to get that data. Okay. Let's make continue. API call is happening, pending. 400 we got. Let's check why 400. Bad request. Okay, date applied. Do we have date applied field? Yes. So in date applied, I think we didn't pass correct date. So in date applied, empty is going. So what I will do, I don't want to fill the home form again. So I will click on it again. And here I will pass the value in console. I will just modify date applied is equal to new date. We forgot this. I'm just adding a date. Now our API call should get success. Yes. So here you can see we got result property as true. So loan application got successfully. And then we are navigating back to the application work. Let's see it also now. So get all application, write out, execute. This is the API which will get you all the application. Let's scroll down. So here you can see, wait, where is my detail? How come loan application is not coming? We got successful response. Let's check the response. Loan application received successfully is there, but application ID is not updated. And in our get all application, so sorry, and we forgot customer ID also. Customer ID we need to pass. Now, otherwise, how you will know which customer is this, right? And we navigated back also. Let's check. Again, we have to fill. Okay, let's go back again. So who is filling this application? User is already logged in, right? So from login component, we have stored the data. Sorry, I was in a hurry. So we have stored the data into our local storage. So that we need to root, and from that we need to extract our customer ID, and that we need to pass it over here. So in date applied also, I will pass new date. So current date we will go, and here we need to pass the logged in customer ID. So let's read it. Local get item. We need to read the logged in user data. So we will read it. So logged user data, user model, something we had created. Then if local is not null, whenever you read the data from your local storage or session storage, always add a null check. Then this dot logged in user data is equal to JSON dot parse, and this data you will pass. And this logged in user, you can provide it over here. That's why it was not coming into your Gate API. Now it should work the fine. Let's fill it one more time. Start application. Something error is there. Okay. Yeah, first we need this, then we have to call this, because if data is not there, how you can use it? So first we need to fill the data, then you will initialize it. Start application. Let's provide the whole detail again. Now let me, my form, I'm only logged in. Q. Okay. Some detail I'm passing. Annual income. Employment status, full-time, credit score 76, bank name SBI, loan detail 6, loan EMI is 30, then another from HDFC, loan detail, let's say 8 lakh, 12,500 is my EMI. Now let's try to debug, continue application. So here, if you see form value, where it is, see, now you got the customer ID also, and the applied date where it is, date applied also. Okay. Now let's see it. Continue. We got it. Loan application already exists. Oh my God. Because just now we have created with the PAN number. Okay, let's change the PAN number. Because for one particular PAN number, only one loan application can be continued. Once that is closed, then only second. So let me change it to something else. Continue, continue. Yeah, now if you check, we got it. Now let's try the GATE API. Again, I will execute. Yeah, so here you can see our loan application is coming properly. Okay, now if the loan application have two roles, customer and the banker. So customer should see only loan application created by him and banker should see the loan application assigned to him. See, this loan application has been assigned to this particular bank employee. Okay, now that part we will continue. So now comes the interesting part. Key user registration is done. Customer is able to log in. He is able to apply for a loan. So loan application he is able to fill. Now that loan application is going to be assigned to a particular bank employee. That is happening automatically from the API. So now if let's say I'm a logged in user as a bank employee, so I should be able to see the application which are assigned to me. Then I do the scrutiny of all those applications. Then I will check everything and then I will decide, right? And if I'm logged in as a customer, I should be able to see all the application I have created, right? So here role based thing is there. So many people, those who are giving interviews, see, if you are really a fresher, then obviously they won't ask you, yeah, what does it mean when we talk about role based application? But if your experience is greater than 3 years, everyone will be so focused on role based application. Key, what you do when it comes to role based application, your application is going to be accessed by user with multiple roles. How do you manage the thing? So this is what started from a very basic. You don't have to go away very with a complex project. Start from a basic one so that you will understand, okay, according to the role, how do we manage our application? If one user logged in, how he has to see different things. If another user log in, how he see different thing. Okay. Now we have to show the applications. Now here, if the user is logged in, here we have to show a menu, my applications or applications simply. So let's close everything where we have our navbar in home component. Sorry, we have a navbar component. Now in navbar component, we know what is the logged in user role. So currently, as we have decided for showing the application, we just have one component only, right? But that link we have to show unless user is not logged in. Means user is logged in, then only we need to show it. So here, just like this, register, we will have our application links. Now this application link will be accessible to bank also, bank user also, and the customer also. But according to the logged in user, we will show different data. Do we have the route created? Yeah, application list. So let's copy it, paste it over here. Applications. But this link has to be visible if I'm logged in. So at the rate, if this variable, what decide if user is logged in or not. So if it is not equal to null, then only we have to show it over here. So this is the first step of logged in functionality. If user is not logged in, we don't want to show some things, right? Now see, currently I'm logged in, so I'm able to see the application. I'm able to navigate also. Let's try to log off. See, if I'm not logged in, that link is not coming. This is also part of your authentication. Authentication and authorization. This is very famous question. So this you can take care of that. Now, let's log in again. I don't know what user was there. Let me check. Write out, execute. I think this was the user. Login, email ID, username, and the password as 112233. Put it over here on click of sign in, user logged in, and now you can see application is coming again. So your authentication dynamic menu is also coming. Now, here if you check, get all user, where is the? So here you can see get all application. Oh my God, I forgot that API. So get my application is correct. This API is for customer ID. This application here, you need to pass the logged in customer ID. It will get you all the data of that, all the application created by that customer. And this application is, this API is responsible to get all the applications. But here we should have one more API, which will get you all the application. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. We have that application, get application assigned to me. So here you need to pass the logged in ID, means bank employee ID. If the logged in role is customer, this API you want to integrate. If the logged in role is banker, then this API you need to integrate. And whatever the data you get, that you will show it in this page. Okay. Now let's ask AI to generate the UI for this. So let's open GitHub Copilot. Wait. Agent mode, plan mode. This is Copilot only, na? Yes. Okay. Now but how it has stored the history? And let me check the codex. So this is getting shown over here also. Build basic Azure. Why it is coming over here? New Copilot session. Okay, we don't need CLI. I'm getting confused. If this is, I have Claude also, Codex also, and GitHub Copilot also. So is this, yeah, in Codex we don't have it. So this is Copilot only. Yeah. Now in this component, I need to show all applications created by customer, and same application, same component we are using to show data to customer as well as banker. Now let's provide what data we are getting. So my application, this API will execute. Same data we are getting both the places. This is the data. This kind of response we are going to get from API. Fine. This is our context. Follow same UI theme we are using and create. Instead of table, now we will ask it to create a card listing. Create UI design with Bootstrap to show applications. Use card design instead of table. And in action, we need a change status button. Again, don't write Angular code, just write or just create UI design. Okay, let it work till that. Now we will start our code generation for now. So now you know what response you are going to get. So we have to create an interface of it. So let's copy this JSON to TS. Open it, put your JSON, then it will give you interface, copy in user model.ts. I will put it over here. Here it will be I loan application list. Okay. Now these are the things what you are going to get from your API. Now interface you have created, then you have to create a function into your service. Now here you have two API call, get us, get my application. The first one, what data we are going to return. This type of data we are going to return. Sorry, IAPI response only. I forgot. Then simple get API call. Instead of post, it should be a get one. And if you check the API, you need to pass, let's say, I don't know the user ID. Let's check the user ID of Chetan11 application. bank login. This is my user ID 14792. If I pass this API ID over here in my application as a customer ID, so here you can see we just had one application created. So that is coming over here. Okay. So this is the API we want to make it. Copy. And here URL is almost common. We just need the method name like this. This will be our method name. It will go over here. Keep, allow. I think UI generation is done almost. Now, whatever the ID, you will pass the user ID, logged in user ID over here. That ID, you will pass it over here. Fine. Just like this, you will need one more API call for the banker, get assigned application. Let's get the URL of that API also. So let's copy this and we have to put it over here and whatever the ID you get. So in your service, you have created two API. Both are going to give you the list. One is for customer, one is for banker. Fine. Now let's check. So we got the UI. Let's try to see how the UI is coming. Okay, see, we didn't ask it to create this statistic or something, but still it has created. And UI is looking very big, right? So we want a very compact card. Let's modify our prompt. So no need of statistic and use row column in one row show for applications. So make card compact. Currently it's very big, right? And within viewport, max 6 cards should be visible. So it will adjust the height also like that. Let's see. Okay. Now, till that it work, we will write the API call. Now here, we have to first read the logged in user because according to that, you are going to trigger the functions, right? So again, logged user colon user login model undefined, then constructor. You have to read the logged in data, constant local storage dot get item. So sorry. Your key name. What was the key name? Our key name was bank loan user. This we will put it over here. Again, while storing the data, we put it into string, right? Local not equal to null, and we have to convert it. So this dot logged in user. Some of you should have a question. This code we are repeating again and again, right? So instead of repeating again and again, we can move it to our service also. So only once it will execute. But let it be. I don't want to go to the complex level. I want to keep it very basic. Let's see how does cards are looking. We said compact it, but see, let's share the snippet. I'm not sure it allows or not. Copy, paste. UI is not aligned properly. We don't need to show everything coming from API. Might be possible whatever the data we are giving it from API, it is trying to render everything. See over here. Approved date, email, employment, everything it is showing. We don't need to see everything, right? So show minimal so that card will look proper. Okay, let it to change. Now, Here we will create our, first we need to inject our master service. So master service. Sorry, I'm going a little bit fast, but in the end I get tired. Inject your master service. Now, one more thing to remember. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. In video description, you will be finding a link of my WhatsApp group. In next week, I'm going to start my dedicated Angular batch live session. I do, if you are not familiar, I take the live session also. Every day we connect in the morning and I do the session. So private sessions are there. Limited people will be there. So just to get the notification of that batch, you can join the WhatsApp group mentioned in my video description, or you can directly connect with me on LinkedIn also. Again, you can find it on LinkedIn video description. Now, on the here we injected our master service. Now get all, what is, sorry, get my applications, or instead of my application, now we will call it as a customer application. Customer application. Now here this dot master service dot get my application. This was a function for this. And now it needs user ID. So this dot logged in user dot, oh, wait, I think something different model we assign. User model, this was it. Here we have, let's add the import dot user ID we need to pass. Dot subscribe, round bracket, curly bracket, next, colon. Now you know what type of data you are supposed to get. This is the response you are going to get. No, sorry, IAPI response. And here we need to store the data also now. We will need signal because async API call application list colon any, not any, this array. It is going to be signal, right? So is equal to signal. This type of array you are going to get. And we will initialize with empty. Let's add the input. Whatever the data you get, that you will assign it over here. Dot set res dot data. Here we are getting error. Why? Argument of sub string. Where it is saying string? Oh, it should be any. Sorry. Okay. And now just like this function, we will have another function, which will be to get assigned application for the banker. Copy, paste, get assigned application. And here another function you will call get assigned application, and the same function. Both the data, both API call function will store the data into same. Now here, once you read the data, here you will add a check if this dot logged in user dot role equal to if this is customer, then you will call this function, this dot get customer application, else means it is a banker. So here you will call another function get assigned applications. Let's check the role first. So see, now data is coming proper, but still it is very, so much of space is in between, right? Let it be for now. I don't want to waste time just creating the UI. Let's check our role. What is the role we have for customer? The key name I want to check, customer with capital C. Okay. Now let's check it. Now, whatever the data we have got that we are storing over here, let's iterate it also. Okay. Now over here, so this is the card. This is the article what we have to iterate. So at the rate for loop of this, which is a signal. And this article, we have to move it over here. Let's remove the static one. And let's show the data now. SP, I think this is, what do we have this SP means? Okay, so first word we might be showing. So let's say the name is Sagar Pawar. So we want to show the first character. So we will use slice pipe. So I will import slice pipe. So here we need to show the first character of the customer name. So item dot full name slice zero only starting. Then here we have to show the actual name item dot full name. Then status. So item dot application status. So we don't need this. Application ID also we don't show. So you can see it is coming now, but wait, somewhere it is breaking. Let's check the API call because we are currently logged in as a customer. So currently customer has only one. Okay. Okay. Now, so we have two different API and both the API have different properties also. Currently, I'm logged in as a customer. So obviously from the API, from this API, get my application, customer data is not coming because you are already logged in. So why to show the customer data? So this data is also having dynamic. Okay. So here, because your login, you know your name. So why to show this also? So here again, you will have a check at the rate if logged user dot role, if it is not customer, then only we need to render it. You know, the role based thing, this is what role based thing is normally. So this we need to hide over here. Okay, then apply date. So here, let's show the date item dot date applied with the date pipe. We will import pipe. Let me provide dt hyphen hyphen yy. Let's import the date pipe. Date pipe. Apply date we have shown. Then we have to show the email ID. Item dot email. Employment we don't need to show. Phone we might need to show and assign to item dot assigned to bank employee. Here you will get the name which who has assigned this and PAN number also. Item dot PAN card. Let's save and check. Okay. Phone is coming assigned to which PAN number. Again, email also we don't need to show if the logged in is customer, right? So email. So again at the rate if the same check will go over there. If the logged in role is customer, we don't need to show the email. You already know your email, right? So this I will move it over here. But here application status we have to show, right? So full name, we don't want to show to own user, but application status we have to show somewhere. So let's say here, I will show the application status. Item dot application status. Save. Okay. Now this is that. Now let's say in the different browser, I will log in with the, what do we say? Banker. Okay, let's check the banker. Now, what is the banker? Because we didn't create the banker login, but in the get all user API, you will find the user with banker role. Let's find it role, customer, all our customer. Yeah. So this is one user I have, which is having role as a banker. So login. user email ID, and the password 111. So currently I'm logging with a banker. Sign in, user found. Now if I go to the application, see the API call. Application, see get application assigned to me. Different API call we are making. Okay. Wait, how come this user doesn't have any application or what? Empty array is coming. Let's try to log in with separate. Let's try with this. I'm trying to log in with the different login. Wait, we will get to know. Okay, this application which I have created assigned to bank username, where we have bank username. Okay, let's try login with this. My application is assigned to him. So our application should be visible in his login. Application assignment is happening from the backend. Okay. Let's try now application. Now here you can see I'm logged in as a banker. So here you can see all the application assigned to this particular role are coming over here. Why it is showing the name slice pipe? We didn't use it properly. Slice colon 0 to 1. Let's see. Yeah, now it is showing the first character. Wait, what is the format of the slice pipe? Where is the example? Slice pipe value start colon, I think. Yeah, now it is see first character it is showing over here. Now here you can see in the logged in, if the logged in user is banker, you are able to see the name and everything, right? But if you check this in this browser, we are logged in with the customer. So you are not able to see this. Change status, customer should not see this. Only banker should see this. So that check again, we will add it over here. So change status, this button should be visible if not customer. Save. So in the customer login, you are not able to see the change status button, but in the banker login, you are able to see it. Now on click of change status, we have another API. Let's quickly do that. Then we are done. So banker, he will see the application, right? Again, you can have add, get, where is that API? We might need one more API to change, see whole application. I forgot that API over here. So we might need one more API where you will pass the application ID, simple get API call. If banker wants to see the whole application, so that API will integrate and whole application data you will show. So it's a simple get API call. In the code, I will push it, but right now because API is not ready, so I'm not covering it. But in the code, I will push it. So here I will add one more button open, and on click of open, you will be able to see whole application detail because here you are showing just the limited, right? But over there on the model pop-up or somewhere, I will show the whole application detail, loan detail and everything. So that I will do. For now, I'm not covering it because APIs are not ready. Now change application status. So in change application status, what we need, it's a simple get API call. So here you need to pass the PAN card number and the status. So bank up user will pass the PAN card number and the status. Yeah, what status? Is it hold, move on to the next day or something? Okay. So let's try to pass the data. Let's say this PAN card number, I will pass it over here and status is closed, execute, status change. So this is the API call what you need to make. So let's add one more service into our master service. Change status. Okay. Then what do we have? Almost gave API call. So let me just copy paste this. We'll go over here. Observable. You will have two parameter, PAN number and status. So what status you are going to pass string. And this will go over here. totally dynamic. So here PAN card should have been dynamic. Add status. Okay, so this is your API call. It's a simple GET API call. Now, on click of change application status, let's say currently users have only one status allowed. So click change. So let's say here we will add two buttons, approve or reject. Only two status we can have. Okay. Change status. Same function, we will call it over here. Now the item dot PAN card you will pass and the status. So this will be approved. What status you want to assign. So approve, you will pass it over here. So from while calling this function only, you are passing the PAN card number and the status. Now you create this function and you make the API call. That's it. So first parameter you are getting as a PAN card, colon string, second status. Okay. And just like this, your API call will be there. Here we'll pass the PAN card as the first parameter. And second as a status. Your method name change status. And once the data is there, you will simply show alert like status has been changed. That's it. Let's check it in the banker login. So here you can see it is closed. Let's say I click on approve. Let's check the API call also. If I click on approve, see PAN card number you are passing and the status. And now if you reload, wait, why it is not changing? Let's try approve over here. From API, we are getting approved. That's true. Yeah, now it is changing. I think this was the closed one. So I might have added that logic in API that if it is closed, we should not be able to. Let's say this is new. If I click on reject, rejected. Okay. Wait, why it is approved only? Wait, both the function we pass approve only. Here we need to pass a reject. Let's try now. Currently this is approved. Let's reject. Let's refresh. Let's try to fill. Now in customer login, let me check. This was new. If I reload, see, this is approved. Let's fill another application. Chetan, but I'm not sure that will go to the same user or not, but let's try it. Date of birth, something I'm adding. Some extra dummy data I'm adding now. Continue application submitted. Okay, same user has got assigned. Currently in this bank user login, we were able to see 3. Now if I refresh, you will be able to see 4th one. Now if I reject, application status reject. Now if you go to the customer, currently it was new. Let's say customer login after some time. See. So banker is changing the status. Likewise, customer get to know the update of his status also. Got it? So this is that whole application flow. Now I know that in banker login, we should be able to see the whole application, right? So on click of here, we will should have an open button, and on click of open, the whole, whatever you are filling while filling the application, that whole we have to see. So that API was not present. So I will create the API and I will push the code. Okay. Whatever the code I will be pushing now, there you will be able to find it. But this is also one of the flow which we have completed. A simple bank application where two roles are there, banker and the customer, and the flow is also there. Okay. So I hope you are able to understand. If you want the source code, just connect me on LinkedIn or the WhatsApp and I will share it to you. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe.